If you run a growing business and your work keeps vanishing into admin, this is for you. Maybe your tools don't talk to each other. Maybe you've added so many apps that no one knows what to use anymore. In the next few minutes, I'll show you how to free up to 5 days a month by making what you already have work properly, or by only adding tools that genuinely help. I'll walk you through the same process I use with clients so you can try it yourself. And if you want a hand putting it in place, just comment unlock below and I'll send you a message with some ideas for where to start. So before we get started, this is for business owners or operation leads with real work flowing, customer projects or suppliers. You might already use tools like Google Microsoft or a customer relationship management system, or maybe you're just starting to place these things together and you want it all to work smoothly. You don't need to be too technical and you just need your business to work, your system to save time and not steal it. If you're still pre-revenue or prefer doing everything manually, grab a brew and skip this one. It probably won't help just yet. However, if you follow this through, you'll have a calmer month, fewer interruptions, faster onboarding and no double typing or copy-paste chaos. In a minute, I'll show you the one small change that saves most business owners the biggest chunk of time each week. It's simple but powerful, so stay with me for that. I'm Tom from Digitalize. I help growing businesses simplify their digital setup so that things run smoother and people get their time back. Quick real world proof, Jason runs a software company that handles compliance for multiple clients at once. After we linked his project management system with his CRM and reporting systems, his customer onboarding became smoother and his team saved more than 5 hours per client. So when you're managing dozens of accounts, that adds up fast. That's the kind of outcome we're going for. So let's get into the process. The 5 simple steps I walk every client through. You can follow along and map yours as we go. Step 1 is the stack check. This is where you see what's really happening in your business. Pick one area to look at first. Maybe how many new clients come in, how projects get delivered, or how orders move through your supply chain. Grab a sheet of paper, open a whiteboard, and draw the steps from start to finish. Every arrow that means someone has to copy and paste something is a red flag. Every time a file or email moves between people or apps, mark it. If a step takes longer than 5 minutes and you do it a couple of times a week, that's a time leak. Set a 30-minute timer and see how far you get. Most owners spot 3 or 4 bottlenecks within the first 10 minutes. And if you're thinking you don't have time for that, that's fine. The 30-minute map is the start. You can even hand it to your ops person if you have one and say, map our tools and one core flow this week. You'll be surprised how many tiny tasks creep in without anyone noticing. Sian, who runs a small design agency, did this and found her team were entering the same client info 3 times into a form, a project board, and an invoicing system. Fixing that one thing saved them a full day a month and cut down on errors. So that's the power of a simple stack check. In a second, I'll show you how to decide which of those red flags to fix first and how some businesses do it without buying any new software. Step 2 is use it or lose it. Now that you know where your time leaks are, it's time to look at your tools. Take a good look at every app you pay for and ask 2 questions. Do we actually use this? And does something else we already have do the same job? Most businesses already own around 80% of what they need to run smoothly. Rob, who runs an accounting firm, did this exercise and found he was paying for Calendly, DocuSign, Dropbox and PowerPoint, even though Google Workspace already covered these jobs. We switched everything back into his existing Google tools and it saved him 4 hours a week and about £200 a month without losing any functionality. Sometimes you will need a new tool, but only if it removes a step or eliminates manual work. And if a light touch of AI can take the boring bits like summarizing client emails or drafting a weekly update, let it. Keep AI as your assistant, not your replacement. Another good example is Ben, who runs a manufacturing business. His team used separate apps for quotes, orders and delivery tracking. We discovered his accounting software already had a built-in workflow that handled all 3. He turned off free subscriptions and saved a day a week of admin. And if you're wondering what it is I actually help with, it's this. I help you unlock your systems so they work together to give you your time back. And once you know what to keep and what to cut, The next step is to make sure all your important information actually lives in one place, and that's where the real time saving begins. Step 3 is the Truth Hub. This is your single source of truth, the heartbeat of your business. Pick somewhere reliable, usually your CRM for clients and deals, or one simple spreadsheet or database for jobs and orders. Strip it that you really need, names, status, owners, dates, that kind of thing. Give everything a clean ID so it can't get mixed up, and tidy the duplicates as you find them. It's not glamorous work, but it's what makes everything else click. And when your data lives in one clean home, you stop asking, where's that info, and start saying, that's already sorted. Guion, who runs a music booking agency, had data scattered across spreadsheets, emails, and even text messages. We pulled everything into one CRM and built some simple triggers. So when an artist was booked, the system created tasks and emailed the right team members automatically. Within a week, he'd stopped chasing information and started focusing on bringing in more customers. It also meant we could generate clean reports in seconds instead of spending hours collecting data. That's the difference a good Truth Hub makes. Another quick one, Sophie, who manages event projects, used to keep client details in 6 different spreadsheets. We moved everything into one shared Airtable sheet with clear owners and auto updates. Overnight, she stopped losing track of deadlines and her team meetings dropped from an hour to 20 minutes. Now that your information finally lives in one place, the next step is to make it flow automatically between your tools, so you're not the middleman anymore. Step 4 is the flow stitch. This is where everything starts to connect. But before you plug anything together, take a few minutes to sketch out what you actually want the flow to look like. We call this your flow map. It's the visual plan that shows where automations should run, where human touchpoints need to stay, and which tools handle each part. You can use a paper, whiteboard, Miro, Google Slides, or even Canva. It doesn't need to be fancy. Start with your customer or project journey at the top and work left to right. At each step, mark what actually happens automatically and where a person needs to get involved. Add the tools you already have underneath each action, CRM, email, project tracker, finance, whatever you use, and then this simple picture becomes your reference for what you need to automate later. It keeps everyone aligned and avoids guesswork. Once you can see the whole journey clearly, the next step is connecting the tools, which becomes quick and deliberate instead of trial and error. So now that you've mapped it, it's time for flow stitch. You're basically plugging the gaps between your tools so work moves on its own. Keep it small and sensible. Don't try to automate everything at once. For example, when a new inquiry form is filled in, a contact is created in your CRM, a call link goes out automatically, and your team gets a quick note in Slack or Teams or your communication channel, so nothing slips through. When a deal is marked as won, a client folder appears, a project spins up with the right tasks and due dates, and the onboarding email goes out automatically. On Fridays, a single update goes to each client and your team gets one short summary. The aim is simple: fewer touches, fewer any update messages, and no double typing. And no, this doesn't replace people or make your business robotic. It just means you stop being the go-between for every small update. That message from Jason, the compliance software founder, came after we did exactly this flow step. Connecting his CRM with his project and reporting systems saved his team 5 hours per client. Another client, Emma, who runs an interior design studio, linked her booking form with her project tracker and invoicing system. Now, when a client confirms a project, the tasks and invoices generate automatically. No manual chasing, no missing paperwork. That's the magic of Flow Stitch. So once everything's connected and moving smoothly, the only job left is keep it tidy. And that's where the last step comes in. Step 5 is keep it fresh 30. This last step is all about staying in control. All it takes is about half an hour each week to keep things running smoothly. Open your automations, make sure nothing's broken, archive anything that nobody's touched in the last month, check a few client records, are the key details still filled in and accurate? Each week, remove one manual step if you can, or add a new shortcut, and track free numbers. How many hours you've saved, how long it takes to go from yes to kickoff, and how many times someone has to manually touch each project. Those three tell you whether your systems are actually helping. Most people think they'll never have time for this, but Dan, who runs a small construction firm, set a recurring 30-minute slot every Friday to do it. Within a month, he'd spotted and fixed an automation that had been duplicating jobs. So that single tweak saved his team almost 2 days a month in rework. It's small habits like this that make a big difference over time. And here's one extra tip. Spend 90 seconds on Friday jotting down one quick note. What's changed, why, and who owns it? That's how improvements stack up and stay in control. So let's recap. You start with stack check to see where the time leaks are. You use it or lose it to clear the clutter. You build your truth hub so all your information lives in one place. You flow stitch your tools together with that flow diagram so the work moves on its own and you have a point of reference, and you keep it fresh 30 to stay on top of it each week. Those 5 steps make up the Digitalize Unlock framework, something you can follow yourself or we can work through together. Do that and you'll win back around 5 days a month without rebuilding your business around a shiny new platform. If this sounds like what you need, comment unlock below and I'll send you a quick message with a few ideas on where to start. Thanks for watching, and here's to your next month actually having some breathing space.